After building over 2,000 sales funnels and generating close to $30 million in sales, I've learned that most sales funnels are way too complicated. If you're not scaling like you should be, it's not about adding more, it's about removing the right things. So here are 7 things you should be removing immediately from your sales funnel if you want to scale faster. So number 1 is going to be too much friction before somebody's able to book a call to speak with you. I see this quite frequently when somebody is first getting started and they are copying somebody else's sales funnels. And let's say that this other person has, I don't know, let's say they have an opt-in page. Let's say then they have a video sales letter page. Then they have a application page. Then they have a booking page. Then they finally have the thank you page underneath this here, right? And so the page that we really want to get people to is this booking page right here, because that is obviously where people are able to book. But they're sending all of their traffic here, not knowing that every single time you make somebody go to a new page, there's a significant drop off. And let me just kind of run the numbers through you. A decent opt-in page typically converts at 15%. A decent video sales letter page typically converts at 5%. An application to booking typically converts at about 50%. And then obviously people that land on the booking page, let's say that's another 50% of people that actually book a call, roughly. So if you have 100 people come in at the top of this funnel here on the opt-in page, then you're going to get about 15 to the video sales letter page. And then you have 5% of 15, 0.05 times 15, that's 0.75. So that's pretty much one person that's going to make it to the application page. And we already know that it's be half a person that's going to make it to the booking page and half a person is going to book from there. And obviously that equals 0 bookings. So you start with 100 people and let's say your average cost per click is $4. So you're going to get $400 here and you're not going to get one booked call. And a lot of people are saying, Ravi, I get them all this traffic, but I'm not having any conversions on my sales funnel. I'm not getting any book calls. And it's because you quite frankly haven't done the math, right? So instead of having all of these steps here, you should likely look to remove a couple. Now, obviously, like I said a second ago, you were copying somebody else and they were maybe doing really well. And so you're wondering, hey, Ravi, well, if they have all these steps, why can they get away with it? Well, because you don't know their whole system or all of their numbers. I'm going to give you just a few examples why you might want to add friction later on. So number 1 is the quality of the call typically increases. So if you are having a lot of friction and you're doing it the right way, then you're only getting on calls with people who are really qualified. They're already bought in. They know what you do. They're maybe even more financially qualified. They have a strong enough pain point that they want to get this solved right now. And so if you're scaling a sales team like I have before, and every single slot on the sales calendar matters, well, you want to try to dissuade the wrong people from booking on that sales calendar. And so we increase the amount of friction in order to make sure that we only have the most quality people booking on the calendar. But the thing is, that's only after you're optimized. If you're not optimized yet, then you could be turning away the good people because you don't have all of the other steps in line. The second main reason is because they have other ways in order to book calls. So this is going to be mostly in this opt-in page right here. You're typically collecting name, email, and phone number. And so I know people who have entire sales funnels that are simply based on the book calls they get from the emails and the phone numbers from people that come in. Nobody's booking on their own. They could have these same numbers here. But because they're getting these 15 leads every single day that are opting into their opt-in page, they're able to do email sequences, email blasts, email automations, have appointment setters call, email, text them, et cetera, and they're able to actually start getting bookings on their own. So what you don't see on the funnel is going to be all the stuff that happens behind the funnel, like the email sequences and the appointment setters. So don't just copy somebody else that's out there. Most of the time, the thing that will make the most sense, especially when people are starting out, is have as little friction as possible. Now, the least friction would literally be sending all of your traffic straight to the booking page, and then obviously from there they go to a thank you page. The problem with this is that you're almost guaranteed going to have too many book calls, too little friction at this point, because you're not calling people out. You're not taking them through a journey on a video sales letter. You're not identifying pain points. You're not showing what makes you different. It's just like, hey, book a call immediately. So you're going to get a bunch of book calls, but they're all going to be pretty disqualified, which is why for every single one of our clients, any portfolio company that I'm working with and I'm trying to scale, the first funnel I always build is a video sales letter to a booking page to a thank you page. That way I can use this video sales letter page here and some really well-written copy, which we're actually going to talk about a little bit later, in order to make sure that I am attracting the right people, that I am digging into the right pain points, that I'm painting the desire, that I'm showcasing case studies, testimonials, that I'm showing them our unique mechanism, so that, let's say, okay, 100 people land on this page, and like I said before, 5% of people make it to the actual booking page, so that'll be 5% of people, or 5 people that are here, and I said 50% of people that actually book, which we'll say 2.5, aka 3 people, if we round up, will actually book a call to speak with us. Well, I'm okay losing a couple of people from this 100 if I didn't go straight, take this traffic and go straight to the booking page, because I know that these people are going to be way more qualified, way higher intent, and thus I'm more likely to close them. The second thing you need to remove from your sales funnel is going to be a cluttered thank you page. So just as a recap, when we go back to like the typical sales funnel here, you have the opt-in page, the video sales order page, application page, booking page, and then there's the thank you page. That's the page that people see after they book a call to speak with you. Actually, one of my most viral reels on Instagram is when I said that the most important page that you need in order to scale is the thank you page, because this is a really great opportunity for you to frame the call correctly in order to speak with the prospects. Because depending on how they came in, whether you had a full funnel opt-in pages and application pages and video sales letter pages, or you had just straight to the calendar, this is going to be one of your last chances to make sure that you have the right people there and that they're actually going to show up. The funny thing is that let's say that we have this booking page and then you have your thank you page here. A lot of people think that as soon as somebody books a call, that they're guaranteed going to show up and that they're guaranteed going to close. But it's not uncommon when I start working with a client for the first time that they have a 30% show up rate, a 40% show up rate, a 50% show up rate. And by the way, they could still be doing $100,000 plus a month with a 40% show up rate. I see it happen time and time again. But that's obviously a huge constraint that we want to identify and we want to solve. So just because somebody books a call doesn't mean that they're going to actually show up to the call. And just because they book a call doesn't mean that they're ready to work with you either. So you want to make sure that we're using the thank you page for two main things. We want to increase the chance that they're actually going to show up, and we're going to want to increase the chance that they're actually going to close. Now, how do we do that? Well, let me tell you definitely how not to do that. And that's to do what everybody else does, and they just clutter their thank you page. They put 700 different videos on their thank you page, right? They have a video up top, they have a video here, then they have 60,000 testimonials, then they have images down here, then they have written text down here. It's just too much, right? You're overwhelming this person with information. I'm actually going to talk about overwhelming your prospects before a call in a little bit here. But on the thank you page, and I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of this myself. I actually used to do this when I first started my company. I would have this thank you page full of testimonials and case studies. And it wasn't until I actually ran a test. I got this software called Hotjar, and it allows you to actually analyze people that are going on your website. You can see their entire journey from when they click on your website all the way until when they leave your website. And I ran a test, and I saw that when I had this much information on the page, prospects were staying for, on average, 6 seconds. 6 seconds. So that's not even enough to watch one video, let alone the 70 things I have on the page. That's not even enough to finish reading the headlines or the instructions that I have on there, right? What I found was when I removed everything and I literally just put 2 things on the page, the average time that people were on the page went up to 40 seconds, okay? So I don't know what that is, 6, 7, 8 times higher almost, I think, something like that. 8 times higher by removing things rather than adding things on there. And by the way, in average, this is the average people that stay on there. So this includes people that stay on and then they immediately close it in half a second because their dog barks or they're funnel hacking me or one of the million different reasons. So I know 40 seconds still doesn't seem like a lot, but in context of the 6 seconds, it's obviously a huge increase from that. So that's why one of the next things you want to remove from your sales funnel is a really cluttered thank you page. What I have found that works incredibly well, and we've seen a direct correlation with show up rates and close rates with this, is on your thank you page, you should typically have 2 things. One thing to increase the show up rate and one thing to increase the close rate. That is it, okay? So what do we do to increase the show up rate? Well, typically we like to put some kind of instructions here, okay? And for us, what we've learned is after booking literally tens of thousands of sales calls, is that the prospects who respond back yes, whenever they book a call and we send a confirmation text to them, they had a 95% show up rate over tens of thousands of calls. If they didn't say yes, there was a 50-50 chance whether they showed up or not, almost exactly 50%. And so we figured out, okay, well, if we can just get the prospects to say yes, earlier on, then we know who's likely going to show up, and then we can double book people on the calendar for the same slots that haven't said yes yet, right? And I'm not going to go into double booking. That's a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but it's essentially so you don't have to keep on having so many sales reps. If you have a lower show rate, you can actually make it so if we know it's a 50-50 chance that two people are going to show up, let's put them both at the same time and see which one of them show up. And there's strategies in order to make sure that you can actually get somebody else on the call in case they do both show up, but I'm not going to get into that here. So the first thing is always instructions. We want to make it clear, hey, thanks so much for booking a call. Immediately do this thing right now. Respond back yes to the email or text that we sent you. Here's a photo of what it looks like. The second thing we want to do is we want to increase the close rate. So I told you there's two things we want to do. So instead of doing 800 things, we just want to do those two things. So the second thing is we increase the close rate. Now, how do you do that? What I have found is I like to call them sales assets, but I like to create some kind of sales asset that we put on the thank you page that's almost like another video sales letter, but it goes way more in depth. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think most video sales letters are bad today. But this one is we were just getting them to book the call in the first video sales letter and identify who they are. This is going to get them so we can answer some of those questions and pique some of their interest before the actual sales call itself. So they feel that they have to show up and they have to close, right? Now, one of my favorite sales assets I've ever done is Google Documents. I love any portfolio company that I have, instead of another video, which everyone does videos, I will actually create a 20, 30, 40 page Google document with data and insights and case studies and testimonials and all that on there. And I like Google Documents because as soon as somebody leaves a thank you page, they're going to not see that video ever again. But if I can get them to click on that Google document and open it up in their phone or whatever else it is, that's still going to stay open on their phone even if they're doing 700 things. And so next time they go look at their apps, they're going to see that that's open and then they're probably going to read it. And it's just also different. And so that's also why people are going to read it. And at least in my industry, I know that a lot of my ideal prospects are entrepreneurs or business owners, and they actually like reading really valuable, dense information, right? They don't like, most of us are kind of tired of the short form TikTok, like the style stuff. And so I'm kind of catering to their needs there. So all you need is two things. One thing is instructions on how to actually show up to increase show rate. And the second thing is one sales asset to get them to actually increase the close rate when they do show up. The third thing you need to remove from your sales funnel is going to be essay-style application questions. So in case you don't know, whenever you're getting a booked call, people typically follow one of two routes. They have some kind of application, and then it goes down to the booking page, and then the booking literally just says, hey, give me your name, email, phone number, and you can book, right? And then the application, if they're unqualified, they can send them to maybe a low-ticket offer, or they can send them to something else. Or what people do is they send people directly to the booking page, and on the booking page, instead of just asking for name and email, they also have a couple of questions here that pre-qualifies them before the prospects actually get on a sales call. So they both kind of do the same thing. What you need to learn inside of here is that I can't tell you, this is probably the most common theme that I see. Either one, people have no questions whatsoever on their application or booking process, so they're getting on a call with every single person that has a heartbeat, and obviously 90% of those people are probably not qualified, and then they think that their offer is priced wrong or that they suck at sales, when in reality these people are just broke or they're not interested or they're not your ideal avatar. So we help people build the right calendar questions. The second thing is that they have too many calendar questions, or they have essay-style calendar questions. So let me give you a really great example. I see people all the time that are saying, like, what is your biggest pain point in this area? Why are you booking this call? Is it because which pain point do you have? And then they're putting this long essay-style question with a long box below it. You got to think. Did you like taking essays in high school or college? Do you like taking long form questions, right? The answer is probably no. And your prospects probably don't like it either. When you land anywhere and there is just a big text box just staring right at you, it's a little intimidating. And you don't want people to feel intimidated when they're booking calls. This is an example of what I talked about earlier of bad friction, okay? There's no need to have this friction in here because you can do an alternative, which I'm going to tell you in a second, and it's still going to have the same end result. And so not only do they have one question like this, they're going to have every question is this long form essay that people have to type in. I've even seen some people have minimum amount of text that they have to enter inside of there. Anytime I enter in a funnel and there's a minimum amount of text in there, all I do is just jam on the keyboard 15 times until I can get that minimum text, and then I submit it. So why are you forcing people through this process, right? If they want to give a lot of information, they'll give a lot. If they don't, they don't. Don't force people through any specific thing. And the least friction that you can have, the more bookings you're going to get. So Ravi, what do you do instead of these essay style questions? Well, what I have learned personally is that typically, once again, after booking tens of thousands of sales calls, typically the answers fall in a category of one of five different things, right? So I'm going to give you an example. For us, we used to say, what's the biggest pain point in your business? Well, now we've identified, okay, the biggest pain point is either going to be the offer or the pricing, the marketing or sales, fulfillment or operations, recruitments, profit margins, or data tracking. I think that's like the 6 different things that we put on our booking question there. Like after tens of thousands of sales calls, we were able to pretty much say almost every single problem falls in this category here. So instead of forcing people to type it out, I just turned it into the same question, but I just turned it into a either single choice or multiple choice text box. And now what would have taken, let's say 2 to 3 minutes here can literally take 2 to 3 seconds there, right? And that's how you increase the amount of conversions that you're getting from the sales page. So if you're spending $5,000 a month on ads, you're going to get a higher return on your ad spend just by making this one change here. So don't have these long essay style questions. Now, a lot of people say, Ravi, what's the right number of questions that I should have? How many questions should I have? Blah, blah, blah. The truth that I found is always you should have the minimum amount of information that you can curate out or cancel the obvious disqualifiers, the obvious people that are not a good fit. A really great example, I have a portfolio company right now that's scaling pretty aggressively. First month, we've hit almost $350,000 in cash. And on there, it's a very high ticket offer. And so I knew before we could do anything else, before I optimized the video sales or blah, 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 if people aren't making at least $20,000 a month, we need to cancel them off the calendar. So one of the first questions on the calendar questions is, how much money do you make monthly? Under 20K, 20 to 50K, 50 to 100K, 100K plus. If they say under 20K, we automatically cancel them off the calendar, right? So just by doing that, now our sales calendar is packed with people that are making over 20K a month, and now we're doing sometimes 1 to 2 closings every single day, a couple of days a week. And that's really big because we're stacking all these really qualified people on there, and that's really good for momentum inside the company, right? And then later on, I started adding more inside of there. As I got more feedback from the sales team, I figured out, okay, how can I maybe disqualify people even further? Another really great example of a really good question I think almost every single calendar should have is, if this is a right fit and I can help you with this thing, how ready are you both emotionally and financially in order to invest in something like this? And the answer is going to be, yes, I'm ready emotionally and financially. I have the money and I'm ready, but I just would like to learn more. Or no, I'm just shopping around. Okay, just cancel off the just shopping around, or give it to your worst salesperson, or put it on an appointment setter's calendar, something like that. That way you can save the juicy people for your best salesperson. You can get that momentum going inside of there, right? Because we learned that when we're getting on calls, people are like, oh, I was just curious, I was just shopping around. Okay, well, unfortunately, we don't have time to get on the calls with people that are just shopping around. Now, if you were, hey, I'm ready, but I need to learn more, we'll still get on a call with you because that's more intense. But if you're literally just like, oh, I just want to figure out the pricing and talk to 10 different people doing the same thing, we have no interest in taking that call. We'd rather prioritize for the other calls that we have. So that's another example of a really obvious yes or no that you can kind of identify for people in your calendar questions. And then there might be 1 or 2 more relevant ones in yours. I'll give you a great example. Some of our clients are like financial coach, or not financial, fitness coaches. And so for them, one of the big things is they only want to work with overweight people, because if you're already in shape, let's say that you're like less than 15% body fat and you like the way that you look, you're not going to have enough pain in order to pay somebody to get in shape. So they will literally ask, what do you currently weigh and what's your height, something like that, so they can figure out what their body mass index is, or figure out, or just say like, where would you put yourself, like fluffy down to lean. And if they're too lean, then we just don't take them on the calendar, because you're not going to have enough pain in order to pay for a high ticket fitness service. Okay, the number 4 thing you need to remove from your sales funnel immediately is too many entry points. Okay, I hate it. I guess I can say hate when I see somebody underneath $100,000 a month and they have a lead magnet here, they have a school or Facebook group here. They have a opt-in page for a video sales letter funnel here. They have a low ticket offer here, right? And these are all hopefully going to eventually be going to the actual booking page for the company, okay? The problem here is that there is just no way you can optimize as a one-person company or two-person company or whoever's running your marketing department, there's just no way you can optimize, nor should you optimize these funnels enough to be able to have a high enough booking percentage so that you can get enough, obviously, book calls and close deals for your company. And so I'm not sure. I think the main reason I found that people do this a lot is because they are just information hoarders. They buy 50 coaching programs. They watch 20 YouTube videos every single day, and they implement every single thing that they learn, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But one of the things I really pride myself and my team in is we follow what's known as the theory of constraints. We call it the critical constraint, what's the main reason why you're not scaling. And funny enough, one of the main reasons why a lot of our clients don't scale is because they are literally, actually, I'm not going to take credit for this. Sam Ovens was the first person I saw that did this. But let's say that this is your energy. They're literally putting their energy in 30 different things, and they're wondering why they're not growing. Where the people that I know, they literally put their energy, let's say, into 2 things, and they're seeing massive growth inside of it. So one of the first things that we'll do is we'll cut out all of the funnels, and they go, oh, Ravi, but I'm not growing an email list, or oh, I'm not growing my Facebook group, or whatever. Oh, or I'm not liquidating my ad spend right off the top. It's like, okay, I get it, but you can have anything that you want, but you can't have everything that you want. I love that saying because it's like you have to identify at this stage what's the thing that makes the most sense. And for 99% of our clients, if you're underneath $100,000 a month, it should be the opt-in of the video sales letter. And by the way, that portfolio company that I recently started working with that's doing over $350K a month in the first month, that is a video sales letter funnel. So I could technically come in and add a low ticket funnel in a Facebook group, but we haven't even started collecting emails yet. I don't have appointment setters. Because I know that simple scales. And so I'm trying to keep it as bare bones as humanly possible. Also, I'm actually running the marketing department in there right now, so I'm not trying to add more work for myself. I know what it's like. I work with thousands of businesses. I know how much energy it takes for a low ticket or a lead magnet funnel, a Facebook group funnel, a low ticket funnel. All those are way too much work. Let me just run an ad, or let me just put content out there to attract people to a video sales letter page. I don't even have an opt-in page. I literally just have video sales letter and booking page. Okay, so don't have so many entry points inside of your funnel. Now, some of you who've been following me for a while, you're going to say, Ravi, you freaking person, you have all these things. So I do have a school group. I do have a lead magnets. I do have a video sales letter. I do have a low ticket funnel. But yeah, I've also made almost $30 million online. We have a team of 25 people. I've worked with thousands of clients. And one of the things that I love to do is test a bunch of stuff because that's what my clients are paying me for, to see what works and what doesn't work. And then, for example, another great example is a webinar funnel. In the last 2 quarters, I've tested with hundreds of thousands of dollars in spend, both a low ticket funnel and a webinar funnel. I ran them against each other. And then in my upcoming mastermind in July, I'm actually going to reveal those numbers to my clients there. And so I'm doing this. I'm the guinea pig here. So don't use me as an example, but you should, as much as possible, simplify your marketing process, because then if all you have to do is worry about the video sales letter page and then they go to the booking page, now you can literally just focus on how do I make this VSL page as high converting as possible in order to get as many book calls as possible, instead of how can you focus on 50 things at the same time. Hey guys, really quickly, I know this is a lot of information. If you just want to go down below, you can book a call to speak with me or one of our team members where we can go a little bit more in depth in your specific situation and talk about how we can install some of these strategies or other strategies inside your business in order to help it scale. The 5th thing that you need to remove from your sales funnel is actually going to be overcomplicated video sales letters. So you've heard me talk about video sales letter all the time. I do have a really great video on my channel. I think it's one of my best videos on this video sales letter formula that we've used to create thousands of video sales letters. I would check that out if I were you. But what I've noticed in a lot of video sales letters is people make super complicated, incredibly long video sales letters. And I guess most of the people I'm talking to in this video are probably, let's say, sub $200,000 a month. And your biggest problem is not the quality of the leads necessarily, net. It's just getting enough calls to then be able to, once you get enough calls, then you can complain about the quality of the calls. But a lot of people, they're just not even getting enough calls as it is, period. And so what I've seen is they try to create this 40-minute, 50-minute, 60-minute video sales letter when they don't have enough data. They don't have enough feedback from the actual marketplace, from the sales calls. And getting somebody to watch a 30, 40, 50-minute video is incredibly difficult. Just ask Netflix, ask Hulu, ask HBO. They spend tens of millions of dollars on these shows, and they have to curate every single word perfectly to leave someone in a cliffhanger to open a loop so that they watch the next thing. It's no different inside this video sales letter. And by the way, when someone's choosing to watch your video and it's 30 minutes long, or your YouTube video, whatever else it is, they are choosing to do that instead of these other things over here, which are scripted better, blah, blah, blah. So you're competing with those things. You have to keep that in mind. So you're competing for attention with your prospect. And so just like I've talked about, I guess a great theme of this video is either too much friction or too little friction. Having an incredibly long video sales letter is going to be too much friction, especially if you don't have the experience of writing a really good video sales letter on your own. So I'm going to give an example of this company that one of my portfolio companies that we hit 350K in the first month. What we did is I wrote this. So remember, no opt-in page. So I followed my own advice, least friction as possible. The first thing I did was I created a video sales letter, and the first video sales letter was 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. Okay. Because this person who I now have equity in the company, they came to me and they said, hey, I've closed a couple of these clients already, and I've done it just from in the DMs. I'm having conversations. I get on a call. I don't have a sales script, and I'm just closing them. And when I saw these numbers, I was like, oh my God, this is really great. I bet you we can scale the hell out of this thing. It's a blue ocean. You know, obviously I've been in the industry for a while. There's a bunch of pros to this, I know. So anyway, I made them an offer, and they became a portfolio company at our company. So what I did was, the first thing I did was said, okay, it's a good thing you're getting in book calls, but you know, when I listened back to some of the book calls they were having, these people were in window shopping mode. They were asking like, what exactly is that you do? How does your process work? What makes you different from other people? Oh, I don't really have this pain point, blah, blah, blah. So I immediately created one version, which was a 2 minute and 30 second video sales letter. This is based off of the small, I think this person had taken 7 calls. So very small sample size. So because I had a small sample size, I couldn't create this really long video sales letter. So then I put this 2 minute and 30 video sales letter up. Now, instead of having people just like message this person and get on a call, now we're sending all the traffic to this video sales letter. Now we start getting book calls consistently, 4, 5, 6 book calls every single day. And then, like I told you earlier, I added in that calendar question to curate out the unqualified people that are making under 20K a month. Now, after we had done 30 more sales calls, what I did is I went back to this video sales letter. I used what I know about video sales letters, the formula that I've used for my clients, and ChatGPT. I analyzed all 30 sales calls. I identified what's the common pain point, what's the common questions that they're asking, what's the objections of the people that aren't moving forward. I got all of that together, and then I kind of infused that into that 2 minute and 30 second video sales letter, and I made it I think it's 8 minutes now. We'll just say 8 minutes, either 8 or 9 minute video sales letter. So however big that is, let's say 3 to 4x longer video sales letter. I didn't go to a 40-minute video sales letter. I literally just went to an 8-minute video sales letter. Except for now, this is going to be covering the process more, what makes us different, hitting those pain points, make sure we're attracting only the most qualified people. I want people to watch the video sales letter and think, oh my God, this person knows me better than I know myself. I can only do that once I have enough sales calls that come inside here. I wasn't really able to do that in the beginning, but I was able to do enough to get them on the booked call and kind of qualify them a little bit there. So now we have this video sales letter. This video sales letter is the one that now we just hit $350,000 in cash in the first 30 days. So this one's cranking really well. I was prepared to then create another video sales letter where I make this one, let's say, closer to 15 minutes, because there's still a couple of questions that people are asking that I feel like I can cover on the video sales letter. But I mentioned it earlier, we follow something called the critical constraint in our company, and this is not the critical constraint. Actually, because we're enrolling so many clients, the fulfillment is now the critical constraint. So now I'm focusing my time there. So I could come over here and build another video sales letter, and I'm really good at it and I love doing it, but I know that that's just doing that is just going to exacerbate the constraint that we have right now, which is building a better fulfillment structure. Right? We're not doing a bad job on fulfillment, but if we keep on rolling at this pace, I know that we need to improve our fulfillment structure. And that's what the critical constraint is about, and that's what we help our clients doing. I'm not going to go deep in here. But the point of it being is that I don't have even though I'm very qualified to make a 30, 40, 50-minute video sales letter, I am keeping it very short and very sweet. And then over time, I will slowly start adding more and more on, only after I'm getting feedback from the marketplace. And I think it was Hermosi that says the main thing you should be looking for is value per second. So I'm not just creating a 30-minute video in order to create a 30-minute video. I'm trying to get the most amount of value in the least amount of time, and that's how you get a really high converting video sales letter. The sixth thing you need to remove from your sales funnels is going to be for the love of God, your automated calendar sequences. So for those of you that don't know, going back to our funnel, when someone books a call, they go to the thank you page. Typically what happens is you're using some kind of calendar software, Go High Level, Calendly, HubSpot, Schedule Ones, whatever else it is. And as soon as they book a call, then they start getting all of these text messages and all of these emails that are automated from the software saying, your call is tomorrow, your call is tomorrow, your call is tomorrow, your call is tomorrow, your call is tomorrow. Well, there's a few issues with that. Number one, dude, they booked for a call tomorrow. They're not going to forget that their call is at 2 p.m. tomorrow when you send them 40 text messages and 40 emails. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but what we've learned is sending more than 3 emails and text messages, no matter how long the call out, that's when you start to see a point of diminishing returns. Now the people are getting pissed off with you. Now they're starting to feel like you're a little spammy. Now they feel like you're too salesy. They feel like there's too much pressure on this call, and you actually start to see a higher no-show rate. So 3 texts and 3 emails has been kind of the sweet spot for us. So that's the first thing, is they have too many messages, the volume of messages. The second issue that I see with these sales funnels is that the messages themselves are super generic. They're literally just the automated ones that come from these softwares that just say, hey, first name, reminder your calls with this person tomorrow at this time. Here's the questions that you put on here. Okay, that's not bad. But if you really want this person to feel like they're not another number, well, let's back up one second. Why do people not show up to calls? They don't show up to calls because they feel like their time could be better spent elsewhere. Why would someone feel like their time is going to be better spent elsewhere? Because they feel like you're reading off a script and just going to pitch them the exact same thing that you pitched the other person that you had on a call 1 second ago. And that could be the case, but you don't want them to feel that way. You don't want them to feel like that's how it is. So then how do you avoid that? Well, then don't use the exact same copy and paste messaging that this person has seen from every other funnel and every other book call that they've ever done. So Ravi, you ask, what should I do instead? Well, you should use some customization. You should take one step further. And yes, you have to do a little bit of automation and set up either Zapier or Make or work with somebody who knows how to do it. But you can make it so that, for example, for us, when somebody books a call to speak with us, the first thing they do is they actually get an email from me. Even though the call's not with me, they get an email from me. And in that email, I've actually CC'd our salesperson that they're going to be speaking to. And I say, hey, Bob, thank you so much for booking a call to speak with our team. We can't wait to talk about how we can help you scale your business. I've now CC'd insert salesperson here, who's one of our lead advisors at our company. They've helped us do X, Y, and Z thing. Here's a short video of us of me walking with this person through some of their experience working with our company so that you know what you're going to expect when you get on the call. Then it's a short video they can click on, a Loom video of me and the salesperson on like a 4-minute video, and I'm hyping up that salesperson. I'm getting them, I'm making them seem like literally God in this person's eyes. So that way this person's really excited to get on the call and they're not disappointed they're not speaking with me, because I don't take sales calls. I haven't taken sales calls in 4 years, at least not for this company. And then I say, by the way, if you don't mind, respond back to this email and also check out the sales asset, the same one that we put on the thank you page that I talked about earlier. Then I have another email come out. Now this one's from the salesperson, but we've actually made the automation so that it's in the same thread as this first one. So it looks like I typed an email out, then it looks like the salesperson clicked replied all to that email and typed something out as well, right? That's the level of personalization that we've done, and that's why we have an 85, sometimes in some weeks we'll have a 100% show rate because of that kind of personalization. Now, we go through the rest of the book call sequence. There's also the same thing that we do over text messages as well. We recently started using blue text messages, so it looks even more realistic coming from an actual salesperson's phone, et cetera, et cetera. So the point of that is not to copy everything that I'm doing here. The point of that is, with a little bit of effort, you can literally take your show rate from, let's say, 60% to 80%, which means that you're going to have 20% more profit in your company without doing any more work, right? That's a huge, huge difference for a little bit, a tiny bit of work upfront one time that you have to do. So please, please, please stop using automated messages. And the 7th thing that you need to remove from your sales funnel if you want to scale immediately is confusing messaging. More specifically, it is direct and indirect messaging. So I save this for number 7 because this is going to get a little bit advanced, but I know a lot of people that follow me are marketers, they're agency owners, they've been marketing for a while. So just stick with me and I'll try to explain if you're not at that level. So whenever you're creating a sales funnel, there's typically 2 types of messaging that you can choose to do. There's direct messaging, which is I can help you do this thing book a call below or watch this video to learn how I can help you, and book a call to see about how I can help you. So it's very direct. That's obvious. This works really well when you have a very low sophisticated market. And I say sophistication because that's how Eugene Schwartz talks about it in his book. There's 5 levels of buyer awareness. Let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What people don't realize is sophistication is not that these people are drinking cups of tea and that they're riding horses. Sophistication is how aware are they of the competitors in the marketplace, of the offers in the marketplace. If somebody tells me, oh, I run ads for a real estate agent, in my mind, I know exactly how much they charge or the rough idea, what's included inside of it, what software they're using, blah, blah, blah. That's because that's a very sophisticated marketplace. There's agents have probably got on 100 sales calls over the last 5 or 10 years with different agencies, and so they all know what everybody's offering all the time. When you do it that way, you can't be as direct because you say, oh, I'll get you more closings as a real estate agent. Well, now you sound like everybody else. So the more sophisticated your marketplace is, the less likely you're able to use directs. Going back to that company, that portfolio company I'm working with right now, their offer is in a very unsophisticated market, meaning that the market's not used to this offer before, and that's why it's doing very well. It's what you would call a blue ocean offer. Now, the people that we're selling to, they would be quote unquote sophisticated in the eyes of the everyday person. Like these people are incredibly successful. But in the terms of marketing, when you say sophistication, it's typically how well aware are they of other offers in the marketplace that are very similar to yours. So direct works really well when you have a very low sophisticated market. When they are not used to seeing their offers. When I first started launching my company, we were able to literally, even my real estate advertising agency, the first company I had, I was able to say, hey, I can generate you 100 leads a month as a real estate agent. This was 4.5 years ago when you could get away with just selling leads. Now, if you're not getting them closings and with an ISA, they don't even want to talk to you, right? But back then, I was able to say 100 leads a month. That's what direct messaging is. Indirect is obviously the opposite of that. You're not telling them that you're going to sell them. You're not saying in the ad or in the video sales letter, in the headline, any of that stuff. It doesn't feel like you're going to sell them. This is typically the very famous free training. Okay, we've all heard this before. Oh, check out this free masterclass, this free training, blah, blah, blah. It's disguised, okay? It's an indirect lead. So they don't feel like they're being sold to. They feel like they're about to learn something, but obviously what you're going to teach them is something that hopefully only you can do, and then you're going to sell them at the end of that, right? So that's what indirect messaging is. The number one cardinal sin, if you get all 1 through 6 right, and you're still wondering, Ravi, why is my thing not converting? It's typically a lack of congruency in your marketing messaging, okay? Meaning that people get confused as they're going through the funnel, and a confused buyer doesn't buy, and so they hop out of the funnel. You're competing with their time with 800 other things. They go back to scrolling on Instagram or YouTube. So, as an example of what this looks like, direct and indirect, it would be something like, learn this strategy that real estate agents are using to generate millions of dollars a year in commissions. And then the subheadline is, and book a call to speak with us to see if we can install it for you. Okay, that is a mixture of direct and indirect messaging. You're saying learn this strategy, so you're lowering their sales resistance. They think they're going to learn something new. And then the subheadline before they even click on the video is, and then book a call to let us install the strategy for you. Oh, well, now they know they have to work with you in order to get the strategy, and now they're not even going to watch the video. And if they're not going to watch the video, they're not going to book a call, and they're obviously not going to close, right? So you're mixing indirect and direct, right? So instead, what you want to do is you want to stay in one lane for the entire funnel. Another really great example of this is in the ad. In the ad, it's very indirect. It's like, we'll use the same example here. There's this secret unknown strategy that most real estate agents don't know, but for the 49 agents that are using it right now in the United States, they're making over $1 million a year. No, it's not cold calling. No, it's not Facebook ads. No, it's not all these things that you think it is. Actually, if you knew what this was, you could probably start generating at least an extra $10,000 a month commissions as soon as next week. And we've never revealed this strategy before, but for the first time, we're going to show you in an exclusive training. So then they go, oh, wow. They click on it. They go to the video sales letter page. And then on the video sales letter page, it says, install our commissions on demand system in your business so you can make $1 million a year. It's like, oh, what? I thought I was learning a strategy, and now I have to work with you to install this strategy. So that's that disconnect with indirect and direct. Instead, be all direct or all indirect. So in that same example, I would literally just match the exact same thing on the video sales letter page. I would say, learn the strategy of how to make $1 million a year as a real estate agent, watch the video down below. That's it. I might even put a timer on the button below that says book a call so that they don't even see the book a call thing, so they don't even think that there's a call to action inside of it, even though we both know that there is. So we don't think there's a call to action inside of it. And so all they see is like, learn this thing, and there's a video, and there's no button below that. And that's going to have a really high click-through rate to watch the actual video itself. Or go all direct. I've helped 39 agents hit $1 million a year in commission, GCI, gross commission income. And I've done that using my commissions on demand system. If you want to learn how we can install in your business and how exactly the commission on demand system works, click on the learn more button below. Then they go to the video sales letter page and it says, learn how our commission on demand system has made 39 real estate agents into millionaires in the last year alone. Watch the video, then book a call. That's all direct, right? So hopefully you see the difference between all direct and all indirect. The cardinal sin in marketing and in sales funnels is mixing those two together. Thank you guys for watching the video. Comment down below if you have any questions or just to let me know if you liked it or not. And I know that this was a lot to cover. If you want my help installing some of these systems, either 1, 2, or all of them inside your business so you can scale, double your show rate, double your close rate, obviously grow your business, then make sure to click the link in the description down below to watch a short video and book a call to speak with me or my team where we can walk you through exactly how we would help scale your business in your situation.